On November 24, 1971, a man using the alias D.B. Cooper boarded Northwest Orient Airlines Flight 305 from Portland, Oregon, to Seattle, Washington. He was described as a quiet, middle-aged man in his mid-40s, wearing a business suit, sunglasses, and a black tie. After takeoff, Cooper handed a flight attendant a note stating he had a bomb in his briefcase. Calmly and without panic, he showed her what appeared to be explosives and demanded $200,000 in cash, 4 parachutes, and a fuel truck ready to refuel the plane when it landed in Seattle. Upon landing in Seattle, the authorities, complying with his demands, delivered the ransom money and parachutes while the passengers were safely released. Cooper then instructed the pilot and crew to fly south toward Mexico City at a low altitude and slow speed, with the rear door of the Boeing 727 left open. Somewhere over the dense, forested region of southwestern Washington, Cooper made his daring escape. He jumped out of the rear of the plane into the cold, rainy night with a parachute strapped to his back and the $200,000 in $20 bills. The exact location of his jump remains unknown, as the flight crew couldn't pinpoint when he left the plane. Despite a massive manhunt involving hundreds of law enforcement officers, aircraft, and ground teams, no trace of Cooper was found in the immediate aftermath of the jump. The terrain was rugged and heavily forested, making it difficult to track him. No body, parachute, or trace of Cooper's belongings was ever recovered at the time, leading to widespread speculation that he might have survived the jump and escaped with the money. The fact that Cooper had detailed knowledge of aircraft, parachutes, and flight patterns suggests he may have had a military background or some form of professional training. By jumping from the Boeing 727's rear stairs, an unusual and dangerous escape route, he leveraged the plane's unique design. The rear stairs could be lowered mid-flight, allowing him to exit undetected. This maneuverability made it nearly impossible for authorities to track his precise landing spot. Additionally, Cooper chose a route that flew over rugged, remote terrain, further complicating search efforts. His demand for multiple parachutes confused authorities about his intentions, preventing them from sabotaging his escape plan. His calm demeanor and careful planning indicated that this was not a spontaneous crime but a meticulously orchestrated one. The FBI closed the case in 2016, citing the lack of concrete evidence, but D.B. Cooper's fate remains one of the biggest unsolved mysteries in U.S. history. There are several theories about what happened to him. Many believe Cooper survived the jump and successfully got away with the money. Some suspect he lived out his life under a new identity. However, no one has come forward claiming to be Cooper, and none of the money, except for $5,800 found along the Columbia River in 1980, has ever been recovered. This has fueled speculation that Cooper either lost the money during his escape or stashed it in a location that remains undiscovered. Others argue that Cooper likely didn't survive the jump. He leapt into a stormy night over a heavily forested area, without proper gear for survival in the harsh conditions. If he misjudged his landing or was injured in the fall, he could have died, with his body lost to the wilderness. However, the lack of a body or additional wreckage weakens this theory. If Cooper survived, it's possible he lived in complete anonymity. Perhaps outside the US he may have carefully avoided spending the ransom money, knowing its serial numbers were recorded by the FBI. This would have helped him evade detection. Another possibility is that Cooper survived the jump but died shortly afterward from exposure or injury in the wilderness. If this is the case, his remains could still be hidden somewhere in the vast Pacific Northwest. To this day, D.B. Cooper's heist remains one of the greatest unsolved crimes in American history. Whether he survived or perished shortly after his daring escape, his true identity and the full details of what happened that night remain unknown. If alive, Cooper would be in his 90s today, making it likely that he either lived out his days in obscurity or perished long ago. His story, however, continues to fascinate and inspire speculation. You've stared into the long dark hole, and now there's no turning back. Like, subscribe, and let the darkness pull you deeper. See you on the other side.